You could pray for something. I mean, why wouldn't you? Things aren't exactly going your way, are they? So you do what you've been told by everyone everywhere for as long as you can remember. You pray. It's simple, really. You send your hopes, your dreams, your desperate little cries for help up into the God, hoping, praying that someone, anyone, is listening. But here's the thing. Before you get too comfortable imagining that soft glow of divine attention, there's something you might want to know, something nobody told you about the fine print in this whole prayer deal. There are two people on the line. Yes, two. It's not just you, with your neatly folded hands and closed eyes, pouring your heart into the heavens. Oh no. There's someone else on the call, someone who's been there the whole time. They're not hanging up. They're listening carefully. Two people, not one. You see, when you pray, it feels like a private conversation, doesn't it? Just you and the big guy upstairs, right? Like you're dialing a hotline to the divine. Only you didn't expect this three-way call, did you? A cosmic conference line. You've got company. So who is it? Who's the second person sitting quietly, listening in on your most vulnerable moments? Well, it's not who you think. Some people say it's fate, that fickle force we like to blame when things don't go as planned. Fate, they say, is always lurking in the background, eavesdropping on your prayers with a smirk. It's there to take your requests and, well, twist them into something you didn't quite expect, maybe even something you didn't want. Ever notice how your prayers seem to get answered in the most inconvenient ways? You pray for strength, and what do you get? Obstacles. Pray for love, and suddenly you find yourself in a relationship that's just wrong. Pray for peace, and chaos comes knocking at your door, ready to settle in for a long stay. Funny how that works, isn't it? Almost as if fate is playing its own little game, a game you never signed up for. But what if I told you that fate isn't even the worst of it? No, the second person on the call isn't some abstract force. It's far more personal than that, far more intimate. It's you. That's right. The other person on the line is you. The version of you that sits quietly in the background, arms crossed, smirking at your own desperation. The version of you that doubts, that scoffs at the idea of hope, that sneaky little voice in your head, the one that reminds you of every single time you've prayed before, and how, well, it didn't exactly pan out. You know that voice. It's the one that whispers, "Oh, you really think this is going to work? Haven't you learned anything from the last time?" And there you are. Two people, one praying, one doubting, one filled with hope, the other filled with reality. That cold, hard reality you've learned to live with, the reality that reminds you just how many times your prayers hit the ceiling and bounced right back down. Think about it. Every time you pray, it's like you're splitting yourself in two. One part of you desperately wants to believe in the magic of it all, in the idea that someone somewhere is listening to your every word. The other part, it's already made peace with disappointment. So really, when you pray, it's not just a conversation with the universe, is it? It's a negotiation with yourself. A delicate balancing act between the part of you that still hopes and the part of you that's already home. But hey, it gets better, because even if you manage to silence that inner cynic, even if for one brief moment you actually believe your prayers will be answered, there's still one more twist. What if the second person on the line isn't just you? What if it's someone else entirely? Imagine this, you're praying for a promotion, for that dream job you've been after for years. You're on your knees, eyes closed, heart open, and guess what? On the other end of the line, someone else is praying too. Only they're praying for the exact opposite. They want that promotion too. They're asking for it just as earnestly, just as desperately as you are. So what does the God do with that? It's like trying to pick sides in a cosmic game of tug of war. Two people, both praying for the same thing. Only one can win. Who gets their wish granted? And then it hits you, maybe, just maybe, the universe doesn't care who's praying for what. It's not some magic vending machine where you insert a prayer and out pops your dream life. It's far messier than that. The universe is indifferent, a vast, spinning chaos that's far too busy to micromanage your wishes. Or worse, it's listening, but to someone else's call. Maybe the person praying against you, they're the one who gets through. Maybe their line has better reception. Maybe they've got better odds. Maybe they're just luckier. And you, well, you're left listening to the dial tone, wondering why your call never got picked up. But let's not forget the cruelest twist of all. Sometimes, even if there's no one praying against you, even if you're the only person in the universe asking for something, you still don't get it. Why? Because the other person on the line you is sabotaging it the whole time. Every time you pray, that voice inside you is sitting there, arms crossed, waiting for you to fail. It doesn't believe, It never has. It never will. And it's been listening in all along, making sure your hopes never get too high. So yeah, you could pray for something. You could send your hopes out into the God and wait, and wait, and wait. But just remember there are two people on that phone. And one of them, whether it's fate, another person, or just the shadowy version of yourself, is always there, waiting, listening, doubting, ready to remind you that sometimes, no matter how hard you try, no one's really picking up the call. So next time, think carefully before you pray. You might not like who else is listening,